In our last video, we introduced the timeline, and in this video, we'll focus on the beginning 3 sections of our timeline. We'll add a customer and assign an order type. We'll organize the order. We'll enter the items, arrange them into groups, and we'll schedule the order. Then we'll email the order to the customer for it to be confirmed and paid for. We'll need to assign the customer, like we see here. We'll need to assign the order type, like we see here. Once the order type is assigned, that will allow us to group the items as we see here. Our next steps will be to schedule the order and send it off to the customer to paid for. They will receive an email that details out all the aspects of their order so they can see the items just like we entered them, grouped with all the foods, the modifier notes, services, and other features of the transaction. They have the option then to review and pay, which can be done from their phone or computer. Now that we have done that review, we can do the actual work. We'll take the perspective of Chad, who's working a catering order for a Mr. Wobbleton Fizzwhisker. Chad will walk us through all the steps of our timeline. We start the transaction. From here, we can look up an existing customer or press New to add one. We can use a name, phone number, account, or other properties to find existing customers. But in this case, we have to enter a new customer. To keep it simple, we just have to enter in the name, email, and address. We can use the button's aim as billing to copy the address. In this instance, we'll use the customer's email as their username. This will save their email address also as their username and allow us to forward the order to them. We can then save them. Now, when we look up Mr. Fizzwhisker, like we did Marco earlier, we'll see him appear in the search results. Next, we'll assign the order type as catering. This is very important as it helps us assign features to the order that all catering orders require. In this case, we are going to use its scheduling and item grouping features. Then we enter in menu items and a service item. This can emulate what we might add in a real order. While we enter things here, I'll make a note to you that we have a separate series for all the settings we did for the catering features. This series is just focused on the behavior of staff on a day-to-day basis to perform operations to complete and fulfill orders. If this is the first video you have seen, you can view our other series on how we set up menu items and other features from our website at pointlesspos.com. The next thing we'll do is view the cart in a large view by pressing Edit Cart. Then we'll go to the menu button and choose Sort Items. Now we'll group the order into sections which have been pre-assigned to the catering type of order. This is one reason that it's important to assign the proper order type. Once we are done arranging the items, we can move to Pay Options. This will allow us to schedule the order and send it over to the customer for confirmation and payment. We already have the address, but if we need to change it for this order, we can. Then we'll schedule the date and time. Order types can set limits and restrictions on the dates and times we can choose from. As you can see, dates are blocked off. These can be weekdays or specific dates or date ranges. Also, the time of day for each weekday can be restricted for any kind of order type. Finally, we can ignore the payment section here at the point of sale because we'll be emailing this order off to Mr. Fizzwhisker for his order confirmation by payment. We'll use the email button up near the top here to send out the order. He'll receive the email, and like we saw before, all of the items will be detailed. He can then use the Review and Purchase button to update, change, and complete payment for the order. When he uses that button, it takes him to the customer portal, where he would log in with his username, or set up a new password using his email as the username. Here we will just review these screens and not make a payment. But once his payment is made, we would move on to the next section in our timeline. Please continue our series here to find out how we prep, label, and arrange delivery of Mr. Fizzwhisker's order.